Pearson gets into the 95 of Fultz. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Porcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Doms, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Nice to go out here for Seca to Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Oklahoma International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Tonight's virtual sim racing event brought to you by the Detroit Region Sports Car Club of America. With over 1,400 members, there is no shortage of knowledge, history, and trailblazing ideas like this sim league. Thank you, participants and spectators, for being part of the augmentation and evolution of the region. The DRSCCA, of course, goes beyond the virtual realm, and 2024 they are hosting over 40 events over 60 days that can get you behind the wheel or so close that it will blow your hair back. The gamut of behind-the-wheel events include road racing, road rally, rallycross, autocross, and a competition driving school. Support for the Detroit Grand Prix, Formula SAE, and Street Survival are also amazing opportunities to help sculpt future and professional drivers. Check out DRSCCA.org for more information. Superlap. Located on the world-renowned Woodward Avenue of Berkeley, Michigan, Superlap is a sim drive studio, a space to meet and compete. With professional-grade racing simulators, they are a premier racing and drive experience venue. They will help you achieve your motorsports goals with education, practice, and training. Maybe you're familiar with the world's most famous International Formula One series? Well, their best driver is a proponent of sim training and racing. If Max Verstappen uses a sim, shouldn't you? You can race and practice against an AI roster, go head-to-head with other humans, or both. They also offer league racing much like the DRSCCA. Go to superlap.world for details. Waterford Hills Road Racing, Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course. Waterford Hills, located in Clarkston, Michigan, hosts a 6-weekend race series, competition driving school, and 9 public open track days. The track is hot from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on these event days and is open to the public. A nominal $5 entry fee is all it takes to get you close to the action. Check out waterfordhills.com for details. Thank you to the Michigan Turn Marshals for their support as well. If you want to get close to the action, be sure to check out MichiganTurnMarshals.org. They can train you to support races like the Detroit Grand Prix. Finally, a special thanks to all volunteers in the Detroit region and Waterford Hills. Without you, none of this would be possible. Welcome back, race fans, to the Detroit SCCA Sim Series, bridging the gap between virtual and track racing. We are here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca, for our season finale in the Spec Miata class. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second, as drivers right now out on track here in qualifying. And let's see where your favorite driver might be on the standings. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Russell Soto in that top spot. He got down to a 136.938. About a half second up over David Moreno. Richard Shive sitting third in the qualifying class here. Very busy grid, list of drivers. I believe we had over 23 entries here for the season finale. So the Spec Miatas always brings out the field in force. Soto with a freight train of drivers behind him. I wonder if that's Richard Shive behind. Yes, it is. That number 79 trying to pick up a tow from Soto here. Shive's fastest lap was a 137.51, a little over a half second slower than Soto. 14 drivers have put down time so far. Somebody I want to keep an eye out. Wanzi Lin, the number 30. Showed up late for practice. We call him Dinner Time Lin since this race series always right around the time he's normally eating dinner. But Lin, one of those drivers, usually in the past, we haven't seen him put too many laps in practice. Has an okay qualifying session and then progressively keeps getting faster and faster as the feature event goes on. Christopher Murray, the real-life Spec Miata driver, moves up to second place in qualifying with a 137.21, but Soto got a little bit faster there as well, getting even lower with a 136.75. Another driver we want to keep an eye out on here tonight, Ari Ryder. Felt good in practice in that number 27. It's going to be interesting to see what he can click off here. Let's pan over to Ryder there, the red, white, and blue 27. Currently 10th in qualifying. Let's see what it updates to. His best was a 138.69. Drops over a second there, getting down to a 137.59. That's going to move Ryder up to 6th in qualifying, just behind David Bauer, who sits in 5th. Heading over to Lin, that number 30 machine. Lane has not put down a clean lap so far here, so he's going to try and get on the board. Now, thankfully, everybody who's registered for the event will make it into the main event. Do not have to qualify their way in here. Right now, it's Alano, Goff, Lin, Linder, Box, and Christensen. 6 drivers who have not put down time. So it looks like 22 drivers currently in the session here tonight. Oh, Lin using up all the curving there. Christopher Murray, who's qualified in second, is going to roll back out on track. As we are just past halfway in qualifying, it's a 20-minute open qualifying session. David Bauer is going to come down pit road. So Lin, unfortunately, has not put down a lap time. And every time you see a driver go off track, dipping those tires in the dirt, it invalidates the lap. Oh, Ari Ryder answers Soto. Ari Ryder with a 136.87. That is going to leapfrog him up into second place here in qualifying. 0.12 of a second off the back of Soto. I think that was Michael Schmidt and Ryder pulling off track there. They still have enough time to get back out onto the circuit, put down some more lap times. There's Bryce Salmon, the 877. He's currently qualified 8th, but looking at the live timing, you've got 8 drivers running a 137 or faster here at Laguna. Soto's going to come down pit road, maybe grab some fresh tires. Salmon might have gotten off track there, I'm fairly certain. So let's see if Salmon's lap time counts here. I don't think it's going to. So Salmon's going to have to settle right now for an 8th. Tanner Box, number 12 machine, trying to best his 14th place spot here in quali. He's gone down to a 139.72. But it seems like drivers really having a tough time with the off tracks. Box clicks off a 139.77, so very consistent there. But unfortunately will not move up the leaderboard much. Still looks to be about 5 drivers who have not put down a time. Christensen, Alano, Goff, Lin, Linder, Lamb. So we had somebody else join. I think it might have been Lamb in the 777, making it 23 drivers registered for this season finale. So let's see. Box holding on to 14th. Salmon sitting in 15th here. Your top two drivers, Soto and Ryder, sitting on pit road. Christopher Murray qualifying right now in 3rd. He's still out on track. Moreno and Shive 4th and 5th. They're down pit road. Let's see how this one's gonna go. 18 drivers have put down times. There's most improved David Grzinski, the number 75 machine, getting a lap on the board. He's currently P19. Soto back out on track, the number 50 machine. 20 drivers have put down times. Lynn is going to move up to the 14th place spot with his first hot lap of the day. First counted lap, I should better say. Ari Ryder, he's also going to go back out on track here. He's got time for a couple of time laps if he can put together a couple of clean ones. But with open qualifying, you also have to count on the other 20 some odd drivers not to be in front of you too long if you're on that heater of a lap. Brzezinski's going to try and pick up a draft here from the 86. That's going to be William Linder just ahead of him, diving into turn 1 here at Laguna. Eric Christensen, Jonathan Edwards have put down times here, making it 21 drivers so far. Soto is on his out lap, so is Ryder. Well, let's see if Soto has something else left in the tank here. If he can best a 136.75. Ryder just a bit over a tenth of a second off Soto's pace here in qualifying. We're going to do some quick adjustments up here in the broadcast booth. Getting the track map a little bit more visible for the fans out there today. And let us know to the fans out there where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor or device, and if they don't, they just about always go back and watch this over, studying the tape a little bit. Let's see what Soto's lap time's going to be here. His first flying lap. Not seeing anything updated, so I think it's going to be invalidated with an off-track. Ryder's making his way through the corkscrew, the number 27, but he's got a fair amount of traffic ahead of him here. Might be able to use the draft off of somebody ahead of him. Oh, that's a lot of traffic ahead there for Ryder. Can he use the draft to try and dethrone Soto here in qualifying? What's it going to be for Ryder? A 138.09, so that was not a flying lap for the number 27. He's got time for one more fast lap here, but he's going to have to get everything perfect. Hitting all of his marks as well as navigating traffic, but everybody out there on track is trying to put down their best lap. And everybody is on a flying lap right now. I'm not seeing anybody on an out lap currently on track. Looks like David Grzinski is going to roll back out on track, but I don't think he's going to have time for another timed one here. As it stands, it's Soto, Ryder, Murray, Bauer, and Moreno. Your current top 5, and Ryder's qualifying is going to be wrapped up there with a huge impact. Just grabbed a little bit too much curbing, stayed on the throttle, whipped it around, and a big hit for the front of the number 27. So that will be the end of his qualifying. Soto is still out on track in the top spot. Bauer and Moreno now making up the top 5. Richard Scheib has gotten shuffled back to 6th. Bauer running his trademark Barbie back number 9 machine. And we get ready to unfurl the checkered flag here in qualifying. Looks like that was Andrew Gross, number 69 machine, sponsored by Student Driving School. He goes off track. Always easy to spot Gross. So the checkered flag is out here in qualifying. And it looks like Soto is going to hold on to that top spot. Soto finishes his last lap. Gets down to a 1:36.87, so not quite able to best his own time here in qualifying. There's Devin Box coming down the corkscrew, the purple and yellow number 16. Box currently qualified 14th here today. Now, once qualifying wraps up, we're going to have a special guest join us in the broadcast booth. And then we will roll straight into our season finale, the 30-minute feature here at the DRSCCA. Also interested to see what Lynn, that number 30, is going to do. Currently qualified 8th. Not sure if he's going to have time to complete another lap. Box with a 1:39.8, so not able to improve on his time. Lynn makes his way around the last couple of corners here. It's just Lynn and Grzinski and Soto out on track at this point. Soto doing it for a little bit of bragging rights, I believe. Lynn comes down pit road, so he'll be done in qualifying. Soto and Grzinski are the last 2 drivers out on track. I wonder if Soto thinks he's got maybe something else. Can he best a 1:36.753? He takes the checkered here. That was a 1:36.87, so not able to best his time. Let's see, can David Grzinski make something happen here? He's currently qualified P20. All 23 drivers have put down a qualifying time here at Laguna. And unfortunately, Grzinski will not be able to finish his lap here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the intermission and a special guest here at the DRSCCA. Welcome back, race fans. After a brief intermission, we've got Richard Scheib joining us up here in the booth. Richard, say hello to the fans out there.
Hey, hey.
Richard, so you're here with Whitlam Group, one of our racers. Kind of tell us about your background, where you're from, the company, and what makes the virtual and trackside shenanigans so darn fun.
Yeah, so from the Metro Detroit area. Whitlam's also based out of the Metro Detroit area. And yeah, just kind of growing up, played around in the sim. And then I got a chance to drive at Waterford, actually, in a Miata. Started doing spec Miata. Sim definitely helped. And yeah, just kind of met a great group of guys. This group is awesome. So I'm glad that we could do this and glad that Whitlam could help put it on. And yeah, Whitlam's been around for since the 70s, and we're largely started in automotive, and we, diversified. We expanded throughout the years. Now we do a lot of food and beverage, consumer goods. It's all tag and label manufacturing. So labels, no one thinks about them, but they're on everything you buy.
Everybody needs them.
Everybody needs them.
So, Rich, we talked about it before, how you were in the sim background and then just went head first into the racing, and kind of how that helped develop your journey. And I know you've got Miata experience, virtual and real world, but how does hopping around to the different cars here at the virtual DRSCCA kind of help you to develop your racecraft? You run both the Spec Ford as well as the Miata class on Thursdays, which is very vastly different, I feel like.
Definitely. Very different. Honestly, it's cool. It keeps you in tune with, how different cars handle you. It really is like you have to kind of do a mental reset in between the races. They just drastically different. Miata's a little bit more pointier. The SRF's got a little bit more understeer. You have to really understand the difference in the throttle control and how you enter and exit corners. And this track is definitely tough to go between the two, but it helps tremendously. And I'm excited to get back. This weekend actually is our race 1 at Waterford, so excited to get there, drive the real Miata, see if any of this translated, and hopefully it did. I think it did. I think this keeps the knife sharp over the off season.
Yeah, now will you be racing the Spec Miata class this weekend at Waterford?
Yep, I'll be doing Spec Miata and ITA. I did those last year. It's good to do. It's fun to do more than one group, mixed group, and then just the Spec class.
Now, with the ITA, for the fans out there, can you kind of walk them through what type of class that is, or multi-class, and how that's a little bit different than what most fans are going to be watching here tonight?
Yeah, so like in Spec Miata, all Miatas, same setup, most largely the same setup. There's a lot more stricter guidelines around what you can and can't do. And essentially, the Miata that I run, a 91 NA 1.6, is as is. Really no modifications or change. You don't need to really change anything to be competitive in ITA. The MBs, you have to do a couple things. I think you have to remove a restrictor plate, but yeah, it's mixed class. So there's multiple different cars on there. I mean, it's awesome actually, because you have to learn how to get around different kinds of cars and on top of different kinds of drivers. But you got front wheel drive Civics. You got there's a group of Corvairs, old Corvairs that run out there. It's a wide range of cars, and a lot of fun. I mean, I think for me, it makes it a lot of fun having, no matter where you're at, kind of like a pack to run around or, try to get by. And you really got to plan your passes at Waterford. So I think ITA has actually helped me in Spec Miata.
Now, I'm glad you said that about the multi-class shenanigans and how that switches things up. Next season here at the virtual DRSCCA, we're going to be running a multi-class endurance. Are we going to see you out there on track for that one?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you'll see Schmidt and I and the Whitlam mobiles. Yeah, we'll for sure be out there. That was a lot of fun.
Now, which car will you be running for that one? I know we're switching up. We're going to have the open wheel, and we're going to have the Miatas next season. Have you guys kind of discussed what you're going to be running?
Yeah, I mean, probably the Miata, most likely the Miata. I know there probably will be less takers on the open wheel, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we might switch it up, but most likely the Miatas. I mean, we're both pretty comfortable in them. It's what we drive on the, well, not these MX-5 Cup Globals, but more comfortable in the Miata. I think we would most likely do that. But
Now,
endurance racing is awesome. It's such a blast.
yeah, it's a different type of fun, I think is a good way to describe it. It gets a little bit of
Right.
strategy in there, like you said, like your real world. It's multi-class, different caliber drivers, different cars, and a breaking point on a Miata might be wholly different from what the 1600 guys are going to be doing.
Definitely. And I mean, you're not pushing, 100% the whole time. You really got to find a groove, a rhythm, a pace, and you want to make it to the finish.
Yeah, exactly. After 4 hours, there's no worse feeling than bending the car at the 3 hour and 50-minute mark in a 4 hour endurance.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Now, Rich, where's going to be the exciting spots to watch here at Laguna? You got some seat time on Tuesday to prepare for tonight. Where do we need to have a camera crew planted that we're going to see all the action at, do you think?
Well, I think it's obvious that the corkscrew is going to be one of them for sure. I think turn one is that double apex is pretty tough. Honestly, it's pretty easy to wrap the car around. So that might be an interesting one to keep your eye out. And then that second to last corner downhill right after the corkscrew. That one you got to have some speed, and I can see that one, especially multiple cars wide, being pretty tough.
Yeah, are we going to see any 3-wide shenanigans here, you think?
I think in some parts, I think a lot of it's really easy to get an off track, and I think drivers will probably rack up points faster than they would like. So I think you might see a little bit of patience more than usual, and maybe a little less 3-wide. I don't think if I have a chance to send it 4-wide, I will. I probably will refrain from doing that, unlike Watkins.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, the last few races, we've seen a lot more aggressiveness out of you than we did in seasons past.
Yeah, it's naturally when you drive with guys of this caliber, you just kind of pick up on things that how they enter, brake, and it's a really awesome group to run with. It's definitely a good learning experience to drive with a group like this that races clean, but also really knows how to hone in on the racecraft. It also helps when you. I did a couple of races at Super Lap, and they have some really nice rigs, and shameless plug, shout out to Super Lap. They one thing I did after racing there, both races, the SRF and the MX-5, I came back to my rig and I took a mental note while I was there, how the brakes felt, how the steering felt, the kind of angle of the steering while I was in there. And I would advise or suggest anybody do this if you get a chance to go up to someplace like Super Lap. Come home and adjust your rig to feel similar. I adjusted my brakes, I adjusted the steering, and that helped tremendously. I mean, for sure, there's driver is number one, gonna make the biggest difference, but that helped a lot. That was great to do.
Well, awesome. A good plug from one of our great sponsors. You as well, sponsoring this season for the Spec Fords and next season as well. Richard, we'll get you back out on track, but thank you so much for the time and best of luck here at Laguna.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. That was Richard Scheib joining us up here in the booth. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the season finale here at the DRSCCA Spec Miata class every Thursday night. And let's run through the grid. On pole, Russell Soto, the number 50. Ari Ryder starting second. Christopher Murray starting third. David Bauer starting fourth. David Moreno starting fifth. Richard Scheib, he was just up here with the interview, going to be starting sixth here this evening. Jim Hayosh starting seventh. Wanzi Lin starting eighth. We've got Bryce Salmon starting ninth. Andrew Gross starting 10th. Ryan Goff starting 11th. Michael Schmidt starting 12th. Cycled on back to Corey Gordon here, starting 13th. Devin Bach starting 14th. Dan Cycle starting 15th. Erickson Alano starting 16th. William Lamb starts 17th. Tanner Bach starting 18th. Tom Salmon starting 19th. David Grzinski starting 20th. William Linder starting 21st. Eric Christensen starting 22nd. And Jonathan Edwards will round out our 23-car grid. Now, something I want to talk about that I noticed during the interview with Richard Scheib, I saw Lynn in that number 30 machine match Soto's time in the warm-up. Both drivers got down to a 136.79. So that is indicative that Lynn is going to have the pace here when the green flag is out. But he's going to have 5 drivers separating himself with the pole setter, Russell Soto. Now, Dan Cycle and David Bauer might be starting from pit road here. They might have missed the start of the grid. And it's going to be a long lap of pacing here at Laguna. We got Mount Clemens joining us in the spectator area. He's cheering on Andrew Gross, I believe. So we make our way through the final few corners here at Laguna. And then the iRacing safety car will come down pit road. There it goes, diving off the right-hand side of your screen. Soto will wait for the green flag. He's accompanied by Ryder on the front row. Murray and Scheib on that second row. Moreno and Lynn the third row. As we are green flag racing here for the final time of this season. It's a 30-minute feature event. David Bauer's going to roll out on cold tires out of pit road. He'll join at the back end of this field. And we had a crash reported with William Lamb, but doesn't look like too many incidents so far here. We got Stephen Kahn join us in the spectator area, and I got to agree with Stephen here. What a great grid. And a very busy racetrack here at Laguna. There's Lynn, that number 30. We talked about how quick he was in the warm-up. Didn't have the qualifying he was looking for. He's tucked in behind Richard Scheib's 79 machine. Right behind those two, that is Bryce Salmon, Jim Hayosh, and Ryan Goff in a pretty intense battle. Soto out front. He's got about 7/10 over the rest of the field. Richard Scheib and Lynn are going to go side by side. Can Lynn get that pass completed before the corkscrew? Looks like he is as Scheib gets pushed a little bit wide there. Everybody nice and tidy down that iconic corkscrew here in California. And now Jim Hayosh. Oh no, the Super Lap 14 goes for a ride. Around he goes. Thankfully, nobody else tied up in that one. Let's get a replay of that, of Hayosh in that super lap number 14. I can't tell if that was netcode or if the car was unsettled. I also saw David Bauer took a tow back down pit road. And Bauer just crashed in the exact same spot and decided to call it quits there. So up front, there's Russell Soto, Christopher Murray in second, Ari Ryder third, Moreno and Lynn round out the top 5. Now, there is a rule here at the DRSCCA. If you take a tow out of the event, You are done for the evening. There's the battle for third shaping up. Moreno all over the back of Ryder in the 27. You can see Soto and Murray ahead. And a very busy racetrack here at Laguna. Still showing 20 drivers out on track. We had 3 retire. That was Erickson Alano, William Linder, and David Bauer, who are going to be out of this one. No, excuse me. Bauer's still out on track. He's just a lap down after starting from pit road. Ryan Goff, Bryce Salmon having a showdown here for 7th. And I've got to say, week in and week out here at the DRSCCA, either on our Tuesday night series or the Thursday, always great racing all across the field here. Lynn sitting in 5th, just clicked off the fastest lap of the race. And he is going to make a pass against David Moreno here, moving up into 4th. Salmon going side by side with Shives, going to take over that 7th place spot. Well, as everybody's going off track there, it looks like Ryan Goff and Shive went off a little bit, kicking up some dirt here, some gravel at Laguna. Andrew Gross, the student driver, back 69, also with a little brief off-track excursion. We go up to 3rd place, Ari Ryder. He's got Lynn and Moreno closing up behind. Soto in 1st, Murray in 2nd have gained quite a bit of ground over the rest of the field here. Ryder trying to pick up a toe off the back of Murray in that number 29. But Soto has already gained 2 seconds on the rest of the field here. Soto was dominant in the spec Fords that ran on Tuesday night, trying to repeat his performance and lock up both championships here this season. Looking forward to seeing what the lap time show on this one. Soto a 137 flat. Lynn another 136.9. Ryder doing a good job holding on to that final podium spot. Staying about 9/10 off the back of 2nd place Christopher Murray. If we go back to this battle for 6, you've got Goff, Sam, and Scheib. A pretty frantic battle for 6. You can see Andrew Gross just behind, trying to get a little bit closer to this fray. David Grzinski is going to roll down pit road. Salmon and Scheib trying to get a run built up here against Goff in that really cool painted number 5. And to the corkscrew, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And if we go a little bit further ahead again, here's still that 3-car battle for 3rd, Ryder, Lynn, Moreno. And it looks like they've got within a half second of Christopher Murray. There's Murray, the number 29. So now it's going to be a 3-car battle for 2nd. Looks like Moreno has fallen off here. Might have gotten a brief slowdown. Here comes the send from Lynn. The number 30 machine is going to dive it deep on the inside line of Ryder. Takes over the 3rd place spot. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. But every time this pack from 2nd place back starts to go side by side, that is allowing Soto, your race leader, more and more opportunity to pull away from the rest of the field. Here comes Lynn battling against Murray for second. Soto has about a 3.5 second advantage over the rest of the field here. Ryder wants to stay in this fray as well. He's not going to let second or third get away easy if he has anything to say about it. Soto continues to charge up front, now 4.2 seconds up over the rest of the field. Murray, Lynn, Ryder, nose to tail. Lynn's going to try and make back-to-back passes here with another big move through turn one. Side by side we go in the battle for second. Soto clicks off his fastest lap of the race, a 136.91. That's worthy of noting. That is the exact same fast lap time that Lynn was able to click off the lap prior. So now Lynn has fought his way all the way up to second, up 6 positions, making him the hard charger of the night. Can he somehow, some way, whittle away at the 4.11 second advantage that Soto currently has here? Ryan Goff, Richard Scheid, both off track there. Able to keep it pointing in the right direction. And now that podium all but decided. Murray, Ryder, and now Moreno, who has rejoined the fray here, as Lynn has quickly pulled a second over third place back. We check in on race leader Russell Soto. You see that front right bouncing up in the air as he is aggressively using all the curbing. Lynn has got it within 3.9 seconds of the race leader. I'm going to be interested to see what the lap times say this time by. The lap prior, Soto did his fastest, a 136.91. This time it was a 137.32. With Lynn getting down to a 136.81. We had the fans asking how Andrew Gross is doing, that number 69. Gross is catching up to the back of Ryan Goff, and what will be the battle for 8? I wonder if Goff got a slowdown of some sort as Gross tries the high-low maneuver, has to check up a little bit here. And that's also allowing Michael Schmidt, the number 129, who sits in 10th, to join the party. As always, great racing all across the track here. And we're going to be keeping an eye on that leaderboard to see if Lynn is able to whittle away at Soto's 3 3/4 second advantage. Now, we're fairly certain with the drop week that Soto may have locked the championship coming up into tonight, but he is a racer, so he's going to hammer down to the very end, and even if he mathematically won the championship, Soto, I guarantee you, is going to be giving it all here today. Rose still tucked in about a half second off the back of Ryan Goff. Oh, a bit of a blink there for our Gross. Having some connection woes, it looks like. So on board Andrew Gross, you can see the number 69 plastered on the windshield. He's about 8/10 back from Goff here, diving into the Andretti hairpin. They're not quite close enough to use the draft, but he's also using the curbing there, as you just saw on board, to try and help that car rotate a little bit. Christopher Murray still feeling the pressure in third as Ryder and Moreno in hot pursuit. There's Lynn, and you can see way up in the distance was Russell Soto. Murray trying to take defensive action here as Ryder tries to stick a nose in. They're losing quite a bit of time to Lynn here with the constant battling for third, but I guarantee you, Murray, Ryder, Moreno are having a fantastic time in the wheel-to-wheel action here on Thursday nights. Keep an eye on the lap times once more. Soto and Lynn. Close lap times, but Lynn was actually a half-second faster here. Now Ryder hungry to put a nose in the number 27. He's down 2 spots from where he qualified. Ryder within 0.2 of a second off Murray. And if we go a little bit further back, Devin Box having a battle in 14th with Jim Hayosh, the number 14. Jim is down 8 spots from where he qualified. Box running exactly as he qualified here. And I see another battle as well, nose to tail. Andrew Gross has gotten his way around Ryan Goff, moving up into 8th. And another battle going on. Ari Ryder has made the move back against Christopher Murray, moving up that number 27 up into 3rd, that final podium spot. I mean, there's great racing everywhere here. There's Ryan Goff just ahead of Schmidt and Gordonier going side by side for 10th. Now, we are at the halfway mark. Drivers will be displayed the cross green and white flags, signaling we are halfway through the season finale. Both Schmidt and Gordonier are both up 2 spots from where they originally qualified, as well as Ryan Goff. There we go again. Schmidt and Gordonier side by side here. Gordonier moves up into 10th in the number 198. So Schmidt will have to take a couple of corners here to get the momentum built back up. And now Gordonier. Oh, putting the pressure almost too much there against Ryan Goff. Takes a bit of a shortcut there through the corkscrew. And I'm fairly positive Gordonier is going to get a slowdown from that. And that allows Michael Schmidt to blitz right on by. Looks like Andrew Gross also had some sort of issue, as Ryan Goff has quickly gotten around the number 69. Gross going the wrong way here. And now he's in the sights of Michael Schmidt in what will be the battle for 9th. As we're 16 minutes in, you're starting to see attrition play a little bit of a factor. As looks like drivers are starting to make a few more mistakes here in the back half of the race. Ryder still holding on to 3rd. Soto, your race leader, still holds a 3-second advantage up over Len. With 13 minutes left, I don't know if Lynn is going to have the time and the pace to try and challenge Soto here. Lynn still our hard charger out on track, up 6 spots. Coming into tonight, it was Soto as your points leader. Lynn was in 2nd place in the points with David Bauer 3rd in points. Michael Schmidt trying to get right on the back of Gross here down the corkscrew. Let's see if Gordonier can close the gap as well in that 198 as he sits in the 11th place spot. Gordonier is going to be looking for a top 10 here tonight at Laguna. Total 137.443. Something has happened to Lynn. He has fallen way off the pace here. Now 6 seconds back. And Ryan Goff takes an alternative line to number 5. I think I saw, unfortunately, that exact same move in practice from Ryan. Had problems with the final corner. And that has allowed Gross, Schmidt, and Gordon nearby. Goff just missed the braking mark there. Able to rejoin safely. Flat tracking that number 5 machine around. And now Goff is going to find himself behind David Bauer. And that's going to put Corey Gordonier up into the top 10. Michael Schmidt still all over the back of Andrew Gross in what is now the battle for 8th. On board with Michael Schmidt, the number 129. Charging up the hill, tucked in behind Gross. Gross gets a little bit better drive on the corner. And you can hear the tires of these Spec Miatas absolutely screaming in protest as drivers are throwing these cars around. What a great view showing how blind it is in the corkscrew here at Laguna. Schmidt keeping the pressure up, dipping a couple tires into the dirt, trying to carry as much speed as he possibly can. And Corey Gordonier has a big run down the hill, and I can see David Bauer and Ryan Goff starting to close up. Goff, though, I think he has a penalty. He comes down pit road as Schmidt and Gordonier also extending the track limits there. Oh, and what happened? Corey Gordonier is going to make a move up for 9th. As Andrew Gross continues his run in that 8th place spot. Let's go a little bit further forward. Ari Ryder sitting in 3rd here. Still chased by Christopher Murray. You can see David Moreno in the 5th place spot here, but less than 10 minutes left to go in the season finale. And it is right now the Russell Soto show as he is 5 seconds up over the rest of the field. And things are starting to tighten up from 3rd to 5th place. Ryder, Murray, Moreno, 3rd, 4th, and 5th separated by about a second. Make it a little bit more as Moreno loses a little bit of time there pushing off the track. Looks like Chris Murray's also going to dip a couple of tires in the dirt. You've got drivers pulling off track to let the leaders by. I think that was Jonathan Edwards, the number 15 machine, hopping out of the way of the race leaders. Moreno's falling back, so that's going to leave Murray and Ryder battling for 3rd. But let's go a little bit further back and say 3-car battle for 8th. Gross, Gordonier, Bauer. All right here, nose to tail. Gordonier's going to pull up alongside Gross and try and make a move under braking. Oh, it's not often we see some gutsy passes in the corkscrew, but Gordon here makes it happen and does so very, very clean. David Bauer, the Barbie back, number 9, is going to try and grab a spot as well from Gross, but Gross able to defend here. Oh, and a big moment there from Gross, losing the back end. That means Bauer's going to have a big run here into turn 1. Gordon here has pulled a half second over the 9th and 10th place drivers. Here comes Bauer looking in deep on the inside line. He's easy to spot in the Barbie-backed machine. Bauer is going to move himself up into 9th. Gross will fall back to 10th. Another battle I'm seeing out on track is the battle for 12th. Lamb and Hayosh are going to go side by side here rather soon, I think. Number 14 on the back bumper of the 777. And as I say side by side, I think the driver's heard it. David Bauer picks up a spot from Gordon here. And that's going to allow Gross to close up behind. Gross took a peek to the inside line, gets blocked there from Gordon here. Oh, and it's going to be frantic into the corkscrew. Bauer takes back over the 8th place spot. He's going to hold on to it here. And as these guys are slowing down the pace, I see Michael Schmidt, the 129, starting to close up behind. Oh, and almost a little bit of contact there between Bauer and Gordon here. And now here comes Andrew Gross, and we talked about it. Schmidt is going to find himself maybe in the contention for a top 10 here, as we have less than 5 minutes left to go here at Laguna. Gross going to try and make a big move on the inside line under braking. Gordon here chops the nose off. Bauer trying the long way around the number 9, tries to have momentum, has the check up to avoid getting to the back of Gross. Bauer goes off track, might have a little bit of a slowdown. That's going to allow Michael Schmidt here to really close the gap. Schmidt all of a sudden in it for a top 10. Every week we've got great racing all across the circuit. Bauer and Gross continue to do battle here for 9th. Soto's still out front comfortably, 3.9 seconds up over the rest of the field. Gordon here, the number 198, he's gained 5 spots over the feature event here today. And Gross is going to have a penalty. He comes down pit road. Gonna have a drive-through. Ooh, Gordon here way off track, losing the back end. Ryan Goff also down pit road serving a drive-through. Here's a good battle out on track for 6. Salmon, the 877. Shive, the number 79. Separated by less than 2/10 here. I'm going to be curious to see if Soto takes the white flag this time by. Let's pan over to Soto. Oh my goodness, look at Len sliding everywhere. Trying to see if the white flag is out here at Laguna. Not seeing it. So they may be running 2 more laps here. Let's go back to that battle between Shibe and Salmon. Salmon holding on to the 6th place spot. Shibe is down 1 spot from where he originally qualified here tonight. And about 1.25 seconds back. Schmidt and Gordon here still having a fantastic battle for the 9th place position. Unfortunately, Gross, after serving that penalty, has fallen back to the 14th place spot. And, I mean, everywhere we look, side by side, Shibe takes the spot back from Salmon. And Salmon fires right back against that 79. Salmon's going to hold on to it here, so I believe this is going to be the white flag lap for Soto. Glenn still running second, 3.2 seconds back. And then Ari Ryder sits in third, 6.5 seconds back from the 2nd place Len. The 2 closest drivers we have out on track are Salmon and Shibe. 6th and 7th here at Laguna. Shibe looking for any opening he can here against Salmon in that triple, or the 877. He's got a bit of a run. Does he have anything to do? It doesn't look like it as he tucks back in behind Salmon, charging up the hill here. Shibe has, in the last few weeks, shown a lot more aggressiveness than we've expected from him in seasons past. You heard that in his interview in the intermission, saying, you know, something about being around these fast guys tends to rub off on you a little bit as they go side by side here into the corkscrew. Oh, a little bit of contact. Shibe heavy on the brakes. Salmon moves up into 6th, but put your hands together. Mr. Russell Soto picks up the win here at Laguna. Lynn will finish in 2nd. And Ari Ryder with a fantastic run, the 27, will round out the top 3. We're going to try and quickly get the top 3 up here to victory lane. We've got Ari Ryder. Excellent. Looks like we've got everybody here. And let's get these drivers up here to victory lane. We're going to start things off with Mr. Ari Ryder. Ari, what a great run here at Laguna. I mean, from 3rd to about 5th place, you guys were very equally matched on pace, and it seemed to be who could minimize the mistakes out here.
Yeah, Chris was definitely keeping me honest there up to the end even. It was a fun one.
Now, did you have more fun in the Miatas this week or Tuesday in the Spec Fords?
Oh, definitely SRF. That's one of my favorite cars for sure. But yeah, Miatas are also fun. A lot more sliding around, a lot more throwing it in. You know, it's a different driving style.
Now, we didn't talk about it last week too much, but how do you think the change is going to be going from SRF to the Formula 1600s next season?
Well, I couldn't exactly tell you. I'm gonna try to do Miatas more instead of SRF and Rays, just because I don't know. The Ray, it's a difficult car to master. It's definitely kind of intimidating for people who don't really drive H pattern and all that. But yeah, I think I'll give the Miatas a stab, especially after this one. I feel like I'm ready for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you've been consistently getting more quick and more consistent every time you're out on track in these spec Miatas, and they kind of lend themselves to good, tight racing out there.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely gonna be draft heavy, just like the SRF, so that'll be something I'm used to. And yeah, I mean, real life sim Miatas are always great for good racing.
Everybody loves the Miata. Ari, congratulations on third here tonight. I believe second, or excuse me, no, not the, I can't do math up here in the booth. So we're looking forward to having you as a championship contender next season. And before I let you sign off and unwind a little bit, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen?
Just once again, everyone who puts on the lead, the people with the DRSCCA, everyone who volunteers, Team Goon Squad for commentating, obviously, keeping us entertained, and then everyone who helps keep me on track in real life and in sim too, keeping me encouraged and such. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Ari, always a pleasure, bud, and congratulations on a great run here at Laguna.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see you around.
That was Ari Ryder bringing it home in third. Up next, we've got old dinner time Lynn join us in the second place spot.
Hello.
Lynn, as is usual for you, you show up later to the session. I don't think I saw a single practice lap. Had a pretty okay qualifying and then just laid the hammer down here in the feature. Some very fast lap times.
Also, it is not my strongest track, so what's it? I think I probably could have used a little bit more practice.
Well, I mean, you still had the fastest lap of the race at one point. Got down to a 136.81, a full 10th faster than anybody else. So you had the pace, but was it just taking longer to get to that pace than we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I mean, this track is very technical. Also, I think the fixed baseline setup also doesn't quite like this track. It's a little bit too soft. Just does too many things when you take those medium speed banked corners. So it is what it is.
I mean, but yeah, we could definitely tell the car bouncing around all through here at Laguna. But still, you came into tonight second in points. Despite missing two races, I believe you're going to leave second in points. So all around, you've got to be happy with how the season went for you.
Yeah, it was a pretty relaxed season. You know, Thursday night fun race. There was some really exciting races this season, and there was some that was a little bit more just driving around laps. But, yeah, thanks DRSCCA, and thank you for a great season.
Well, Lynn, anybody else you want to give a shout out to before I let you go unwind from this one?
I don't know. No one really I can think of except the aforementioned ones, but congrats to Russell on the race win.
Awesome. So, Lynn, always a pleasure talking to you, man, and hope we have you up here a bunch next season.
Yeah, we will see about that. I'll consider.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you, Lynn.
Yep, bye.
That was Lynn bringing it home in second, but up next, the man, the myth, the legend, and now the newly crowned champion, I believe. Welcome back, Russell Soto.
Thank you, James. Yeah, it's great to be here. Not sure about the champion, though. You know, 2 drop weeks for everyone. I think that might make Yuanchi or Elliott the champion. We'll have to see.
I'm going to be interested. If I'm looking at this right, I saw 2 DNSs for Lynn. So I'm doing some math here, and I feel fairly confident saying you might have locked this one up.
Oh, wow. Oh, that would be a surprise to me then.
Yeah, I mean, good for you for not checking before. And we talked about this on Tuesday as well, going, you mathematically probably have it won, but does that change anything? And I was talking about it in the broadcast to the fans saying that doesn't change anything for Soto, and he's going to hammer down. I think that kind of confirmed it with your statement that you didn't even know you might have mathematically locked it up.
Yeah, I think the focus for me this season, because of the hard start in MX5, was the SRF championship. I know with this season in MX5, I was really focusing on individual race wins. So to hear that we had a good championship standing at the end is pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy about it.
I mean,
Surprised for me.
and dominant from the word go here tonight at Laguna. I mean, very reminiscent to what we saw Tuesday night as well. Once you had clean track, just kept hammering down, and Lynn, unfortunately, looked like he had the pace, but didn't have the time to use it here to give you a run.
Absolutely, James. The pressure was on for me. I mean, Lynn, I know, is a very fast driver. And when you see the relative and you see the time coming towards you, you know that you got to start pushing as well. Early stages of the race, I was just trying to control the pace, maybe save my tires a little bit. But then I saw Lynn coming in and I was like, okay, got to go hot lap mode.
Now, how was the tire wear and the tire fall off through this 30-minute feature? What was it making the car do that felt differently over the run?
Oh man, James, I was oversteering into about every corner. It was really hard to be precise with the car, especially on the technical parts of the track, like the corkscrew, to get the car positioned where I wanted to go, just because of just how hot the tires felt towards the end there and worn. But we held on to it, just by keeping a clean line and just trying to maintain a good pace. I mean, I know Lynn was definitely catching up to me, so he had a couple faster laps than me, but I'm just happy we were able to hold on.
Well, Soto, a clean race, a great championship for you in the number 50 machine, and for the final time, both of the night and the season, who you want to give some shout out to that helps put this together and put you in the top spot?
I think this part of the interview I'd like to dedicate specifically to the DRSCCA, because, championship wins, race wins are one thing, but for me, I feel the biggest success has been how much fun everyone has had joining this series, how much we talk about it on the real life track, the influence and how it's helped drivers in the real life better their lap times. I mean, I'm just honored to have been able to have given back to my motorsport community in this way. Love to give a shout out to Alex De La Torre for all the help he does in supporting me in my real life racing through Argentum Racing, which is his team. Sonia as well, who, it's part of the crew. John Webster. Everyone in Argentum Racing, who I didn't get to mention in the past interviews. I just really want to give them a shout out as we head into our first race in real life at Waterford Hills this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
We'll be following along with that story as well. Congratulations again, Russell. A big win here tonight. We're fairly confident. 2 championships under your belt, and always a great time talking to you.
Thanks so much, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Russell Soto bringing it home in the top spot. He was accompanied by Lynn in second and Ryder rounding out the top 3. For the final time this season, I want to give a quick thanks to all the fans, friends, and family who showed up every Thursday night here at the DRSCCA. Also, would not be able to do this without Waterford Hills, the DRSCCA, Super Lap, and the Michigan Turn Marshals. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next season. Have a great night, everybody.